Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to our series on this incredible book, The Way of the Superior Man. If you've not seen our previous episodes, in this series, we're doing a chapter by chapter read through of the chapters of this book and doing a little discourse at the end so you can apply the incredible wisdom that's in this book into your own life. So, The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of women, work, and sexual desire by David Dida. Especially for understanding relationships with women. If you're a man and a masculine man trying to understand relationships with a feminine woman, which would be the majority of men, this especially the next section that we're going to get into in some of the previous episodes and in probably the next 10 or so episodes, it's so educational, and most people don't know this stuff. And if you can understand this stuff, it'll really help you achieve a level of mastery in relationships. So yeah, another awesome chapter coming up today, chapter 18. Tolerating her leads to resenting her. A man gets resentful and frustrated with his woman when he is too afraid, weak, or unskilled to penetrate her moods and tests into love. He wishes she were easier to deal with, but it is not entirely her fault that she is bitchy and complaining. It is also a reflection of her lack of being penetrated by love. When a man resigns and simply tolerates his woman's self-destructive moods, it is a sign of weakness. His attitude has become one of wanting to escape women and the world rather than wanting to serve women and the world into love. A man shouldn't tolerate bitchy and complaining moods by his woman, but he should serve her and love her with every ounce of his skill and perseverance. Then, if she cannot or will not open into love, he might decide to end his relationship with her, harboring no anger and resentment because he knows he did everything he could. The whole point of an intimacy is to serve each other in growth and love, hopefully in better ways than we can serve ourselves. Otherwise, why engage in intimacy if your growth and love are served more by being alone? Intimacy is about growing more than you could by yourself through the art of mutual gifting. One of the largest gifts you give to your woman is your capacity to open her heart when she is closed. Sure, she can get herself there out of her dark mood, but your masculine thunderbolt of love can brighten her darkness in a way she can't do by herself. If you are like most men, however, you probably end up feeling burdened by your woman's mood. You feel your woman is a pain in the ass. You wish your woman would leave you alone and just take care of herself. Eventually, you feel worn down or frustrated. You simply end up tolerating your woman's moods while resentment builds up inside of you. You wonder, what's her problem? Why can't she just be happy? The feminine part of your woman is either opening in loving surrender, brackets easy moments, or closing in what ends up being an emotional test of your capacity to open her, bracket difficult moments. This cycle of the feminine is like all cycles in nature. It never ends. The sooner you learn to embrace and dance with these moods of closure, the sooner both of you will grow beyond the psychodrama and see the humor of the play. Instead of tolerating your woman's moods of closure and complaint, open her moods with your skillful loving. It is your gift to give. Both of you will grow more by your giving than by your tolerating. A superior man sees his woman's moods as not a curse, but as a challenge and an amusement. At the end, I'm going to explain how you do this, right? But there are many ways to creatively deal with her moods and help her open. Tickle her. Take off your clothes and dance the Watusi. Sing opera for her. Make animal sounds. Shout at her louder than you ever have, and then kiss her passionately. Press your belly into her until she melts. Lift her off the ground and spin her around. Occasionally, talking with her helps, but not as often as humor and physically expressed love. If you have tried every creative humorous, and powerful way of loving through her mood, and she still refuses to let go of her closure, then simply relax. You have done everything you can to serve her, and if you are not skillful enough to serve her, or she is not willing to, or not willing enough to receive your gifts, perhaps you are with the wrong woman. Just remember that any woman that you are with, if she has a feminine sexual essence, will cycle through moods of closure every day which seem to have no reason to them. You cannot avoid this by changing women or waiting for the moods to stop. You can only develop your skill in serving your woman into openness. It never ends though. Even if you are passionate, fearless, loving, and humorous with her, the weather continually cycles through rainy and dry spells. Night and day cycle in their turn, and your woman will continually cycle through openness and closure, even when her life and relationship with you seem great. If you find yourself merely tolerating your woman's mood, merely tolerating this feminine mood cycle because you have been frustrated by endless discussions that go nowhere, you can be sure that you and probably your woman are building up resentment towards each other. Don't tolerate her mood, and don't talk about it with her. Participate in it. Bloom her into fullness. Move her body with your body. Open her heart with your humor. Penetrate her closure with your fearless presence. Open her heart again and again and again. She could do it by herself, but if she could grow more by herself than by receiving your gifts, perhaps she shouldn't be with you. So, he says it actually really beautifully there, but I want to give you the practical instructions on how to do this in real life. So just so you're clear on what he's talking about here, he's saying in those moments where your woman, your girlfriend, your wife is emotionally stormy, maybe in a dark mood or maybe in a bad mood or moody in general. What she's looking for often, not always obviously, but what she's looking for is not a sit-down intellectual conversation about her mood. She's not looking for that most of the time. That's what he's saying in this chapter. He's saying when she is moody and she's coming around you, it's because she wants to be loved and experience your gift of opening her. Now, what the fuck does that mean? Here's what it is, right? It's about jokes. It's about joy. It's about gaming her. She wants to be gamed by you because it's funny. It makes her feel like a little girl. It makes her feel like you are kind of looking after the situation. It makes her really feel like she's with the alpha male whose cup is overflowing, who's just the fucking coolest guy in the world. And, and sometimes she can be a bit grumpy because we're all grumpy from time to time. Sometimes she's a bit grumpy, but she comes around you and she finds herself laughing and forgetting about whatever, and she loves you, right? Like she just wants to love you. That's what he's saying. She wants to love you, and she just wants you to be a freaking legend. I'm doing my best to not swear in these videos because I don't know who's watching, but she wants to think of you like a legend. She wants to think of you as the best, right? Like she's with this alpha male that has just so much good in his life, and his cup is overflowing so much that when she's around you, even if she's a bit you're in such a good mood that you just say jokes and you whatever. You're so loose. You're not attached to you're not following her lead. Obviously, you're sensitive enough to calibrate whether she genuinely actually needs like a genuine real chat, because we're human. Sometimes we need a genuine real chat, and sometimes it's not a problem to be fixed. It's just that she's just in a mood. She's just in a mood, and then she just gets to. So here's a nice way to think about it. If you've ever been a big brother, or you've been a big brother figure and you've kind of had this like little niece or little sister figure, you know. And it's, if you think about it, like if you were to have a little niece and you see her in a bit of a grumpy mood, right? Would you agree that you're able to just say something funny, like, you know, hey, look, we're gonna go on this adventure, or hey, what do you think about this, or whatever, and your mood is so positive and joyful that it just like breaks her out of her little moodiness, and she starts to laugh and giggle and all of that, you know. But can you see, he even mentions amusement. There's like almost a self-amusement. You don't have to fix them at all. You don't have to at all. But there's a self-amusement when you're around them. Oh, they're a bit moody today, you know, and you know, and but you're feeling so good that you just kind of, you're not attached. You're not attached to fixing them. If they feel that you're attached, then they'll probably like double down on their mood. But when they can feel that you are not attached, and you're a legend. It's like there's a boat party. It's your boat party. It's sailing anyway, and she's on the shore, and she's like, "Meh," right? And then the boat's sailing past, and then you're like, oh, you know, and you're partying. Hey, listen, you're invited. You know what's going on with you. You take a little bit, and you're present. You take a little bit. You get off the boat for a minute. Yo, this boat's about to leave, but you know, like, how are you doing? You know, you just have a joke. You're just part of the party. You're just making jokes. You're laughing. Or you're just feeling good, and you're just sharing that feel good energy, you know. And and even if you're chatting, there's this undercurrent where you're not taking it seriously, and you can find light in the situation, and you don't have any like resistance to the fact that she's in that mood, but you're just like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's raining. I know it's raining. I know. It's all shit. It's shit. I couldn't have agreed more. It's shit. So you want to go on the boat, you know? And she can feel like that, hey, this boat's going to leave eventually. She's having this moment with you where you're just in this great mood, and that's like kind of your gift of being able to be present in the bigger picture of life, so you're not so caught up in this one mood, you know. So I'm going to explain how you do that, but I wanted to give you that feeling of what he's trying to say here, right? It's like this, you're gaming her because you've gamed yourself. You've gamed yourself into such a good mood that anyone around you, you're going to game them too, to join in your good mood. It's such a gift, right? Now, here's the thing, right? When you do that, and then it really does make her feel like the little girl. You know, she's with this big alpha male. Like, it's a little bit like the little niece, right? Like, with the little niece, when she's thinking of you, the uncle, she's thinking of a guy that is completely in control of the whole world, you know, who has no problems. He's the fucking boss, right? And so, you know, she always has fun with her fun uncle, right? And so it makes her feel so when your woman has that experience with you, she feels like she's like a little girl again, you know, with a big man who's taking control of the whole thing, right? Now, how do you, for yourself, self-generate that self-amusement and that joy? It's by filling your own cup first. If you don't fill your own cup first, you will end up resenting her. You'll end up resenting your family. You'll end up resenting others because they're not filling your cup for you. You want to have the things that you're doing with your life, be it your mission, be it what you do for work, which fills you up, which makes you feel happy and joyful, going to the gym, chatting to your other friends, like whatever your protocol is. Let me give you some very specifics. Like, for me at the moment, my current routine is like, and I really love this, right? Like, I feel like I get to do these things. Like, I have a infrared sauna that opens up like super early. So I wake up early. I listen to music that I really like when I wake up, and then I go to the infrared sauna. I read there. I do a cold plunge in like 3 degrees Celsius temperature. So I'm feeling good. I'm really feeling like I'm looking after myself first. And then I come home, and for me, typically I film a YouTube video. And I've done all of that before 9 a.m. So for me, by 9 a.m., I feel like I've actually accomplished heaps, which are according to my goals. And so it kind of just pretty much ends up putting me in a good mood. And then I spend most of the things in my day are set up so that I'm doing things that make me feel like I'm progressing on the goals that which are important to me. Tony Robbins beautifully says, if you really want to know where happiness comes from progress, from you feeling like you are progressing, right? So when you are doing enough things in your day which matter to you, which make you feel like you're progressing on things that matter to you, you inherently kind of feel pretty good, right? And then if you really love that person, yeah, of course you feel good, right? You feel good to be around them. And then because your cup is so full from a big, beautiful ecosystem of positive energy, then when you come to your girlfriend or your wife, when you come to your woman, as he says here, you've got an overflowing cup to give from. So now what this implies is maybe you don't get to spend as much time with her because you've got all this other dope shit to do, but the time you spend with her is of a higher quality because you're giving from a full cup and there's a lot of joy overflowing. Because remember, it's like a bank account or a plant. You know, whatever you're feeding that thing is what's going to how it's going to grow. So if you're filling this bank account with stolen money, you're going to grow in kind of like this negative energy that you have in this bank account and the worries that be associated with it. But if you fill that bank account with diligently, well earned, well managed money that you save, that bank account grows. In the same with a plant, fill it with good ingredients or fill it with bad ingredients, it's going to grow differently. In the same way, a relationship has a bank account. It's called the emotional bank account. This is from Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. A relationship has a bank account. You ask yourself, are you giving to that bank account or are you taking from that bank account? And what is the quality of what you're giving to that bank account? The reason I have, thank God, been able to have very fulfilling relationships with different people is because I always thought about that. I always thought about that bank account and what am I giving into this bank account? Because I want this bank account to be so full that when it's time for me to make a little withdrawal, like it's happy to give it to me because it's overflowing. So I hope this is making sense. You want your own cup to be overflowing, and it overflows thanks to all the loving, beautiful, fulfilling things that you do personally with your time. And the more your cup overflows, the more you have to give, and you can give good energy into that relationship. And then you'll find that her moodiness, you don't have to tolerate it because you're in such a good mood that whether she's in a good mood or not, it's still fun with her. Now, the last thing I'll quickly say is that if you need to, that there are genuinely some people out there who just can't receive a good thing. That is the truth, right? Like there are some people out there who you've kind of dotted your I's and you've crossed your T's, you've spoken to your friends, and you know you're being a really good dude, and you know that you're really trying to give, your best to this person. And if they truly are determined to be a negative Nancy, then maybe they're genuinely going to better be served going off by themselves for some time. Because I have known people who out of their own, I know men and women, but in this example, I'm speaking of women because most likely the person viewing this is male. I have known women and men, as I said, but I've known women who, out of their own insecurities or out of their own trauma, they have a lot of shit that they're trying to bring up and drag you down. You have to for yourself discern whether her being moody is genuinely coming out of trauma that she needs to resolve, and you can set the boundary and you can say, hey, listen, this is just plain mean, or this is just plain bad energy from your own trauma. Like if I'm going to be growing myself, I expect you to be growing yourself. Otherwise it's not an equal exchange that's happening here, right? Like it's actually it's service to her to have that conversation, because it's actually going, because she needs that type of feedback to give her the evolutionary pressure to grow, which makes her better for herself. So you need to understand for yourself, is this because I remember I knew someone else, and even when she was around the best guy, she was with the best guy like that she could get. I remember, because everyone thought that guy was amazing. And I remember speaking to that guy like years later, and he goes, man, she was always just in a bad mood. And I just thought, whoa, like this is like the alpha male jock guy that every guy wanted to be like in high school. And he's saying that even around her, even around him, she was still always kind of in a bad mood. So that tells you that there is a line between just like just a overall healthy, positive person who gets moody sometimes, which is what he's describing here, and someone who actually is just chronically moody from their own trauma. And if it's the latter, you want to dot your I's and cross your T's and speak to whoever you feel you need to make sure you're making an objective decision. But then realize that it's actually a service, it's a benefit and a service to them if you do want to discontinue the relationship, because you cannot genuinely serve them, which is what they deserve. They deserve to be served. Everyone does. So if it's about real love, you want to help them get served, whether that's with you or with someone else. So I really hope you enjoyed today's chapter. We've got some great chapters coming up. Guys, the last thing I'll say is this. If you got value out of this, please do share this video with anyone else that you believe might find it interesting. The reason I say this is because I really do believe in the future men will be more conscious and live in a more conscious way. What that means is they'll understand how to healthily process their emotions better. They'll be clearer on their direction in life and their purpose. They'll be able to have more fulfilling relationships. And I absolutely believe it's the work like this and the discussions like this that we're having which is going to create that future. So if you'd like to help create that future, please do share this video with someone that you believe is going to find it interesting. If you'd like to connect with me, I would love to connect with you. My name is Dim Happer. You can find me on Instagram in the links below. And if nothing else, I'll see you in the next chapter.